What's up everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about the top 10 best basketball shoes for guards available in 2026. And without further ado, let's get straight into it and start with my first pair, which is going to be the ANTA Kai 2. Overall, an amazing performer for guards and for any position as well. That's something you need to keep in mind. Every shoe can be worn for every position, and it comes down more to playstyle than it comes down to position. But there's a few things you want to keep in mind, because now in general on this list, the shoes won't have as much cushioning as a traditional center might want. So just keep that in mind if you're a guard who needs a lot of cushion, who maybe wants more bounce out of their shoes. All of these shoes do certain things well, that's why they're also not ranked, and all of these shoes have certain weaknesses. Just listen to what I say and then decide which pair fits your playstyle and your needs the best. Now for the Kai 2, they have a very nice retail price coming in at 130 euros or dollars. Also, depending where you live, it can fluctuate a tiny little bit. I should have an anti-affiliate link for you in the description box down below as well. What do they do well? The traction performance is exceptional. You can see it's got a very unique pattern, also very cool outsole, just from the looks of it, and it grips indoor courts very well. And what's also really nice, especially considering the low price, is that these bad boys can also be worn outdoors. So that's a huge plus, especially for the low retail price. One thing that these don't do as well is the cushioning aspect. If you don't want a lot of cushioning, they're perfect, but if you need a little bit more impact protection, just a little bit more softness, stepping comfort as well, these are probably not the pair for you. There's not that much compression, especially in the heel and the forefoot area. What these really excel in are the supportive features. You can already see they have a very nice lacing system. And what's really cool is that they have flywire-like cables that go down the side of the shoe here, which adds for amazing lockdown on side-to-side movement. So this really feels like a Kyrie shoe. And the materials are also nice. They break in very quickly, tiny little bit stiff at first, but as you can see, once they're broken in, very soft and accommodating. The fit, that's the last thing we're going to talk about. These are also the categories we're going to go for the other shoes. Is quite narrow, but they do work for wide feet as well. Just give them some time, break in the materials and get the fit used to your feet a little bit, because just here they're a tiny little bit narrow. So if you have a wide midfoot like me, these might not be the best option. Before we move to the next pair, I also want to talk about two honorable mentions, especially if you're on a lower budget. Awesome option, the Adidas Dame X. They retail for 90 euros a dollars, which is absolutely phenomenal for a 10th signature shoe. So big shout out Damian Lillard and Adidas for doing that. And you can even get them on sale. I saw some pairs for 60 euros or even 50 euros on the official Adidas website in Europe. And the second pair I want to mention is the Puma Halley 1. 120 retail, also still a very solid price. You can also find them on sale. If you want to cop them, you can check the affiliate link I have for Kicks and use the code Lucas for a discount. And now for the next pair on my list, we're going to talk about the Series Player Only Player 1 Plus. These released a while ago, but are still a phenomenal performer. I think retail is 160, but you can also find sizes on sale. I don't have an affiliate link for SPO, but they're available on the official Series Player Only website. What makes these stand out is for sure the traction performance, and just a quick checkup on this colorway. Beautiful, especially here in the heel. I love this colorway. Huge shout out to SPO for sending these over. Now back what makes them special. The traction performance is very good. You can see the wide outsole takes some coloring, of course, but the traction pattern is actually surprisingly durable as well. So you might be able to take them outdoors, even maybe get a full solid rubber outsole, not a translucent one. And what's really cool about SPO is that they have exchangeable drop-in midsole setups. So right here, this is the explosive setup if I'm not mistaken, and you can just get different thicknesses, different amounts of cushioning and different amounts of support on the official website as well. You can buy them separately, so you don't have to buy a new shoe, and that's just a really cool feature in my opinion from Series Player Only. One thing that holds these back a little bit in my opinion are the materials. They're very plasticky, very stiff. Of course, these are a Kobe 8 or Kobe 9 look-alike, and they nailed it. A very good performance. Just the materials are not as nice as in those two pairs. For the support features, you're perfectly good to go. We even have a little carbon fiber shank plate here on the medial side of your shoe. You can see it right here. So also good to go. A very nice performer, with the downside being the materials. The next pair I want to talk about is from New Balance, the Hezi Low Volume 2. I've talked about New Balance shoes a lot on my channel already, as they make very good basketball shoes and very underrated basketball shoes. This pair in particular is amazing for guards. You have a good amount of cushioning here in the heel, it's fuel cell cushioning, and then you're lower to the ground in the forefoot. One downside of this setup is that it does bottom out relatively quickly, and it's also not durable enough for outdoors because the outsole just doesn't hold up. We've got a translucent outsole in the forefoot, solid rubber here in the heel. Indoors, perfect, but just don't take them outdoors. The grip itself is very, very good. And what I also like about these is that the materials break in very nicely and you have a very soft and comfortable fit overall. One of the most comfortable shoes for guards that don't have an excessive cushioning setup. And the retail price is also good as they come in at 120 euros or dollars. Now, the next pair is a little bit more expensive, but it's probably the best shoe on this list, as we have the Way of Wade 12. What a performance beast. I have a full review on those as well. Also on most of the other shoes I already talked about, and these really have no weakness in my opinion. The one thing I don't like about them is the plasticky smell. Even like this pair, I've had them for about 2 weeks now and they still stink. I gotta say, like, that's a very, very strong smell. I wish I could somehow share it through the screen, because if you've never had a Way of Wade pair, you won't know what I'm talking about. But if you had, I'm pretty sure you know what it is. Beautiful colorway. The outsole is very, very interesting. A GCU pattern, has an insanely loud squeak. Of course, that has nothing to do with performance, but it's still nice to have, and it just makes the traction or the bite sound a little bit harder in my personal opinion, if you know what I mean. And the bite itself, of course, is top tier, 10 out of 10 in my personal opinion. No weakness. Dust pickup is almost non-existent. Just wipe from time to time and you're really going to stick to the court no matter the condition. The cushioning setup is also amazing. Full length super boom. That's the most premium setup that Way of Wade has, and it really feels absolutely amazing. And what's also very cool here is that we have a carbon fiber plate sandwiched in between 2 layers of super boom. So 1 layer of super boom, full length carbon fiber plate, 1 layer of super boom. Absolutely amazing. Of course, that's also why these are so expensive. They're available on the official Way of Wade website. I have an affiliate link, so make sure to check that out if you want to cop. It would really support me and I would highly appreciate it if you cop through my link. You can also use my discount code LucasSimora10, and unfortunately it's not available on the whole sortiment anymore, but you can just try it out. It works on most pairs and even on pairs on sale. Now back to these. The materials are also very, very nice, very thin yet still supportive. This is the first colorway that's fully synthetic, which is a big win for me because I'm vegan, not only in my diet but also in my general lifestyle, so I don't want to use shoes that have animal-based leather on them. And last but not least, the support features and the fit actually surprisingly good for wide feet, which is also a plus. I might even like these a little bit more than the Way of Wade 10. Now for the support features, also very, very good. I mentioned the full length carbon fiber plate already. We've got a big heel counter with a nice design here as well, and the lacing system works very well too. So just see, if you try to flex them, it's very hard to bend them, and you get a good amount of rebound out of it as well. So overall, an amazing basketball shoe. Now, before I move on to the next pairs, why are there no Kobe's on this list? The pairs I would include are the Kobe 9. I absolutely love these. And of course, the Kobe 8 is also a great shoe for guards. And of course, you can also include the 4, 5, and 6. But the main reason why I don't have them here is because they are just incredibly hard to get. Now, this colorway is a little bit easier to get, but the 5 overall is a better shoe, so I should have to include this one, but I'm not paying 500 euros for a pair of basketball shoes, and neither should you. If you can get them for retail, the pairs I mentioned are absolutely amazing. I also really like the Kobe 9. There's a lot of cool colorways and they have great performance. If you're interested, I can drop a full Kobe ranking or just performance reviews on a few pairs. Just let me know in the comment section down below. I just wanted to give you a quick heads up why there's no Kobe shoes on this list. The next pair I want to talk about is the Nike Jaw Free, and this is my ID colorway. As you can see, it says Ellis Hoops here in the heel. Let me know what you think of it. I think it looks absolutely amazing. My favorite part is the shiny swoosh here. Kind of reminds me of the Swarovski colorways we saw from Ja Morant in the past. And the reason why these are good for guards is because, for one, it's the best looking basketball shoe in the market in my opinion, and they also have very good performance, especially the traction performance. Here it's a full solid rubber outsole. The translucent ones pick up a little bit more dust. That's why I went with the solid rubber one here on Nike ID. I'm not even sure if you can choose a translucent one, to be honest. The bite itself is very, very good. The pattern is also really cool. Just take a look at it. Small Ja Morant logos on the whole outsole. And it's not very durable, so definitely don't take these outdoors. But for indoors, a very, very good bite. And if you have a pair with a translucent outsole, just wipe from time to time. Retail price 125 euros dollars. Absolutely phenomenal for such a cool shoe. Cushioning full length Zoom X, that's also definitely a highlight. Really comfortable. A lot of compression, especially in the heel, always looks really cool. I post a lot of unboxings on my other social medias in short form content, so make sure to check those out if you're not following over there on Instagram or TikTok. And the support features are a downside of this shoe, so if you need a lot of support, don't go for these. It's not dangerous to play in them. I see a lot of questions about that, but it's just not the most supportive shoe on the market. The materials are nothing special, so this pair is not broken in. There's also some paper wrapping still in there because I haven't been able to wear them because of my surgery. I should be able to go back to sports tomorrow, as of when you're going to see this video, so on Monday. And nothing special, very plasticky, takes some time to break in. And also a big downside is these are incredibly narrow, especially in the midfoot. So I usually go up a full size, and even with my full size, these are very narrow and hurt my feet a lot. But if you really want to play in them, you can break them in. It just will take some time for your feet to get used to the shoe, or actually for the material to get a little bit wider. Now next up is a little bit more expensive shoe. Again, oh my bad, I picked the wrong shoe, as is the Curry Series 7. Let me get the jaws out of the way. Curry Series 7, as it looks like, one of Steph Curry's last shoes with Under Armour, and one hell of a performer. I think is his best pair with Under Armour. The traction performance, we've gotten used to it. Full length flow setup, you can see it here. It's a decoupled outsole, and it's incredibly light, one of the lightest shoes in my collection. And what's so cool about this setup of flow is that it doesn't struggle as much with dust pickup anymore. It's still not durable enough for outdoors, which is a shame because the retail price is a little bit higher. But what they finally managed to give us a flow shoe that has good impact protection. A lot of compression in the heel. You're still not too high off the ground, so I can really see why Steph Curry likes this shoe so much and plays in it a lot. Well, not anymore. He used to play in it a lot. Now he's kind of a sneaker free agent, which is also cool to see him playing Kobe's and Books and wave weight shoes. Really nice. The support features here are also very good. You wouldn't think it because it's a very low cut shoe, and it feels like you're wearing a running shoe. It's kind of a beefed up version of a running shoe with a lot of cushioning, very low cut, minimalistic materials as well, very lightweight on foot, yet somehow they're still supportive. Big reason for that is this shank plate here in the middle that also moves up into the forefoot. So as you can see, torsional support is absolutely amazing. Don't flex at all in the midfoot, and overall a very fun shoe to play in. Just if you've never used the flow setup and Steph Curry shoes, be aware they're very low cut, and the flow setup, the traction grips so hard that you can actually trip if the court is too clean. That might sound weird, but for the first time I tried a Curry shoe, it was the Curry 9, and I thought, okay, we're just gonna do like it was a Monday, and on Mondays we usually just had like light running practices, little defense drills and stuff like that, slides, stops, whatever. And I thought, okay, perfect time to break in a new shoe, and I was actually tripping over my own feet on closeouts and stuff like that. So just be aware, it's not all positive. If the traction performance is so good, it can actually be too good. The next pair I want to talk about is my favorite all-time basketball shoe, the Nike Book 1. Still a great option for guards. Just very quickly, because I've talked about them so much. Full-length herringbone pattern, really good and reliable bite, the most important thing in my opinion. Very nice cushioning setup if you're like me and you want a lot of impact protection in the heel and lower to the ground setup in the forefoot. Full-length cushion on 3.0 and an air zoom unit in the heel. Then for the materials, I prefer, of course, the non-leather materials, synthetic ones. This one is also still pretty new, so it's not broken in. Takes some time, but then it's really comfortable. Stepping comfort is also great, and the support features might not look like it, but it's actually a very supportive shoe. The next pair I want to talk about is from Adidas, as it's the Adidas Dawn Issue 7. I dubbed these the best basketball shoes of 2025, and they're yet still very good and amazing for guards, especially very similar to the Book 1s. That's why I have them back to back. Essentially the same cushioning setup, just with a different name. We have full-length Light Strike Pro. The traction performance also works very well, but it struggles with dust pickup, so that's a downside, and I also wouldn't take these outdoors. Forgot to say that about the Book 1s, you can take them outdoors, and for the fit, go half a size up. Here I would go true to size. It's a little bit snug in the midfoot, but they break in very nicely. What I like about them is the overall comfort of the shoe, very soft materials, a lot of padding, and the support features are excellent, as we have flywire cables that go down the side, but we also have one last lace loop right here that goes to the back here, so that eliminates heel slip that we had on past Dawn Issue models, which is always nice to see that brands actually listen to consumer feedback. Now here, a brand new pair, the Wade All City 14. I also haven't been able to play in them because of my surgery, but just from wearing them at home, I've got 4 colorways. Massive shout out to Way of Weight for sending them over. All around amazing pair. The best thing is the cushioning setup. We've actually got 3 layers of cushioning. We have Boom, we have Super Boom, and then we have Light from Ultra in the heel. So everything that Way of Weight has in store in terms of cushioning, they put into this beauty of a shoe right here. I also love the design. Every pair has a heart here on the tongue, which is really cool in my opinion. This is the Sunset colorway. Beautiful outsole as well, GCU and tough RB, so they should be durable enough for outdoors. The fit is actually wide foot friendly, so if you're looking for a Way of Weight shoe, you can go half size up with these and they should fit your wide feet as well. And the support features also look to be great. We've got a Provolock system, we still have the Europlate shank plate, and just a very thick and sturdy heel counter. And if I try to flex them, as you can see, there's like a flex point right here, and then that's it. Midfoot is perfectly nice and stable, and the retail price at $140 is amazing value for money. The last 2 shoes I want to talk about. First pair, yet again from Way of Weight, the 8085 Ultra Volume 2s. Now, if you're a guard and you want a lot of cushioning, these are an amazing option. They also have a drop-in midsole like the Kobe setups and like the SPO setups, but this one is the best out of all of them in my personal opinion. A full-length Super Boom drop-in midsole, absolutely amazing. A lot of energy return, a lot of bounce, and great impact protection while still not being too high off the ground. The traction performance is actually also very good. We have a GCU and tough RB setup, while the GCU part is just here in the forefoot and the rest is tough RB. It works very well indoors and it should also work outdoors. On the regular 808.5s, I had some complaints from followers that said that they were not as durable as they wished them to be, but here I didn't have any complaints so far, so these should definitely work. One downside from these compared to the regular 808.5s are the materials, as they're a little bit more stiff. They upgraded them, they're more supportive, yes, but slightly more stiff, as you can see, a little bit more plasticky, but yet again also more durable. So just choose which pair you want. If you only play indoors, go for the regular 808.5s. If you play outdoors, go for the Volume 2s. As I said, use code LucasSimona10, you can try. I'm not sure if they still work on the 805 V2s, but you can just try it out. You can save $10, or if you don't save $10 and still want to buy them, I'd really appreciate it if you could use my affiliate link. As said, everything in the description box down below. And the last part, support features, absolutely amazing. Carbon fiber shank plate here in the middle. Heel counter, great lacing system, so no issues there. The fit is rather narrow, great for narrow footers, great for normal footers, not the best for wide footers. And I already talked about 10 shoes, so if you were counting, I apologize, I couldn't narrow it down. One more pair I wanted to include is the Exhibit Select 3.0 from Adidas, because I think this is a perfect pair for guards and especially a great pair if, let's say, you had a pair of Kobe 6s, those broke up, they're not usable anymore, and you want something similar but you don't want to spend as much money. These are a great alternative. They're extremely lightweight and just have a similar feel to the Kobe 6s on foot because they also have very good traction performance, a full-length herringbone pattern, very aggressive pattern. Then we have a carbon fiber like shank plate. Unfortunately, it's not real carbon fiber, it just looks like it, but it still does a good job. Great torsional support, so very stiff in the midfoot, just like the Kobe 6s. Of course, something these don't do as well are just the materials and the support overall. It's just a little bit too flimsy and too soft for my liking, but for some of you, this could be the perfect basketball shoe and the perfect Kobe alternative. I like to wear them for shoot-arounds. I haven't tried them in a real game because the Book 1 is still my game day shoe, but overall still a really good shoe and also very lightweight. The lightest option from Adidas and also very good looking shoe in my personal opinion. That being said, that's all I have for you today. If you have any more questions, if I forgot to talk about the fit or the price or anything on these shoes, just let me know in the comment section down below. If you don't have any questions, I would still appreciate a comment for the algorithm. Of course, if you enjoyed it, I'd also appreciate if you could leave a like on this video. And if you want to see more of my content, I'd really appreciate if you could subscribe to my channel. Have a good one and see you next time.